So today I will be showing you guys how to go from absolute zero, to a fully functioning, fully secure 24/7 OpenClaw server. I will be walking through with you guys step by step every single command. You will also have full access to what I am doing, like my file here, in the description. So before we do anything, we need to set up an SSH key, and this is super easy. All you have to do is copy this command here, and then you could probably change this to be your name so you recognize it. I will not do this since I already have one, so I will Control-C here. But once you have this key, what this key will do is give us very secure access to your server, because this will allow you and only you to access this server via this SSH key, which is insanely secure. Now, in order to get this OpenClaw running 24/7, we need a server, and the super simple one, or the simplest one I know of, and also a really cheap one, is Hetzner. So let's bring up Hetzner. So once you have set up an account and such, you can go to the console here, and you will be brought to this page here. Now all you have to do here is either choose the default project, or you can create a new project. It doesn't really matter. Then we go into this project, we click servers, and we click add server. Now here you can literally choose the cheapest one, which is this, and here, because OpenClaw does not take basically any resources of this server, so we need the bare minimum. So let's choose x86 here. I will be going with CX33. Then you can just choose the location that is closest to you, and here you choose Ubuntu 24.04. There we go. Now we don't change any of this, but here is the key part. Here you have to add the key that we just generated. So now all you do is do this command to be able to get your public key. Now this key you get here it doesn't really matter, you can give it out to anyone. The private key is secured on your computer. So this one, it doesn't really matter if you show it to someone. But anyway, run this command, then paste everything you got from that command into this line here. Even the spaces and everything in between, just paste all of that in the SSH key, and the name will automatically be selected for you because you named the key in when we created the key. Volumes we don't need. If you will be saving a lot of files on your OpenClaw server, then maybe you would need one in the future, but right now we don't need this. Firewalls we will set up inside the server. Backups you can choose if you want. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This does not matter. And finally here at server name, I would recommend setting this to be something a little bit pretty, like OpenClaw for example. Now once you have created your server, you need to be able to go into that server via your terminal. So go into your project where you created the server. So all you have to do here is go into the project, then press servers, and here you will have something called the public IP. So all you need to do is copy this now. Now all we have to do is run this command here in order to access your server. Now I have named my server already, so I will use SSH into this via this, but this is essentially doing this exact command here, but I have just named this for easy access. Then once you're in the server, it should look something like this. We are in root, and we are inside of this Clawdbot server, which is now OpenClaw. So now what we have to do is just standard practice. We should update and upgrade all of the pre-installed packages on this server, just so we have the latest. Once that is done, we install some of these essential packages. You can see here. You can't really see it, but we run this in order to then be able to, for example, install OpenClaw and such. Here I'm also installing ZSH, which is a super nice terminal Then we are starting to install the first safety procedures, which are fail to ban, which bans people who are trying to guess your password. So we just run these commands one by one, and here let's check if it's working, and we can see that it is active and running. Now we will set up some more security measures. We will start by doing some more security measures. We are, for example, going to be allowing SSH, which this is us. We will be able to SSH into the server with our key. So that we need. And now we will be turning on the firewall of the server with that command there, and yes, and enter. And then we are going to be disabling the password login, and this is essential because passwords, as it says here, can be guessed by other people. So we are going to be completely shutting them off and only using the SSH key, which is pretty much impossible to guess. So let's start turning off the password authentication. Then we will restart the SSH service. And then we're going to verify that this actually worked. And here we see that there is no longer any password authentication, which is very good for us. We will also be checking the firewall status. And here we see that we only have these SSH ports open, which allows us to get in. Now this is completely optional. I will be installing omysetsh. I really like this when working in the terminal. It just makes the quality of life a lot better. So here we go, and then I will install these custom plugins also, which make it very easy to jump around, and also it gives us autocomplete, so any commands we have run before are easier to run again. Now I'm going to be adding these plugins, which make my life a little bit easier. So here in plugins, you press delete here. Nano can be a little bit weird to work in. Then you can press right click in order to paste. And then we press Ctrl O, and then space, and then Ctrl X. Now let's apply the changes we made. And now we have these very nice add-ons. And here you can see what exactly it is you're getting. Now this was just for convenience, you don't have to do this. Now let's start by installing Node. Let that run. Then we install Node, and then we are going to verify. And here we can see we are running version 24. That's awesome. So slight mistake here, we're actually supposed to use the sudo, since this is a global install. So let's let this run and I'll be back. I also updated the guide for this, so you won't have this problem. So awesome, that worked. Now we are getting into the fun stuff. We are gonna start onboarding our agent. So we're gonna choose the model, we're gonna choose the skills, we're gonna configure everything now. So yes, I understand, and we are going to go with quick start. Then I highly recommend Anthropic. Otherwise you can choose, for example, OpenRouter, which has a really nice auto selection of model commands, so you are very efficient with token usage. But for this video I will choose... So what you have to do here is run this in another terminal, I would recommend. And I would also recommend to do this on your server, because I'm a little bit skeptical on how Anthropic checks the fingerprint of the actual key. So this is just purely me speculating, but for this we of course need to install Claude here also, which is super simple. Since this is a Linux server, we're gonna run the Linux install for Claude code. Let's wait for this to finish. So I recommend following this step here in order to add this to your path. So copy paste that in the terminal. And then what we have to do is just follow what they said here. So Claude setup token. And then what you have to do is just follow this step, do do this command. Make sure you copy the full link by doing this, otherwise you will get an error. And then Control-C, and then paste that into your browser. You will then be given a token back, which you paste into Claude. This is not the token to paste in here. This one you actually have to paste into Claude, this terminal first. And then when you pasted the browser link or the browser token in here, that's when you get the real key, which you are going to be putting in here. So now I did all that, and now I am at choosing a model. I love Opus 4.5, so of course I will be going for that. And here it's kind of preference based. Telegram is very easy. All you have to do is follow the instructions. When you click Telegram here, you just make a new bot in Telegram, you copy the bot token, you also copy your numeric ID, but I love Discord and I'm always on Discord, so I will go for my preference here, which is Discord. So now they are very nice and all, and they actually tell you exactly what to do. So I will be doing this right now and then getting my bot token and coming back. So let's configure the skills also. So we're gonna install Homebrew. We are gonna choose npm, and here you can choose whatever it is you want. I will install GitHub, GOG for Gmail and calendar and such. Then also Obsidian, because I love working with Obsidian. We could go for Whisper if you like to send like voice notes, but I mainly text, so I will skip that. Some other fun stuff in here, but that's it for me. So now I'll just press enter. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No, no. No, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. No, I don't need that either. So now what we could do is we could hatch our little bot here in the terminal UI. And if you set up your Claude token correctly, it should respond back to you. So if you don't get this, then you did not set up your Claude token correctly, and you can just run the claw, or you can run OpenClaw on board again to change your token again. But now I will just introduce him to me, and this is where you can tell your bot about yourself, what it is you want to do. So OpenClaw can change a lot of like configs for you, so this is super nice. So if you want to add MCP servers, skills, all of this, usually you can ask OpenClaw to do it for you. And one of the first things I recommend you do is actually look at the auto-compact and make sure that memory flush is on. Then to make sure OpenClaw does not hallucinate, you can also tell it to please check the docs, because it does have access to its own documentation, which is a really nice thing. So just straight off the bat, the auto-compact is on by default, and so is the memory flush. And it seems that the auto-compaction triggers when it is 20,000 tokens close to the total context limit of the model. And this is already extreme. I recently made a YouTube Shorts video and a TikTok video about when these AI models start to get dumb, and this is called context rot. So context rot starts to really kick in at around 50% context. It's up in the air right now, but many agree that it is 50% context. So this should actually be 100,000 tokens, not 20k tokens until the end of the context window. At this point, when it is only 20,000 tokens left, the AI model is actively doing wrongful decisions. Please change this to be at least 50% or 60%. The AI models are the smartest at fresh context, just so you know. So I'm gonna ask it to put this to 100k context, and it can't change its own config, so it is pretty handy to just talk to your bot about these small changes. For example, if you want to add cron jobs, or if you want to enable the heartbeat, you just ask your agent about it. just ask OpenClaw about it. But really do make sure that you let it know to access its documents or activate or access its documentation, and make sure it does not hallucinate. Now, OpenClaw actually has some really nice built-in security fixes. So we should run these commands here to just automatically fix any vulnerabilities in our server. And you can see that it sets some permissions. Then let's do the deep one for some deeper checks, just to make sure. You can see here, it's okay. Now, let's see what actually is going on here. So this is exactly what it is you want to see. Our gate is only bound locally here. It is not exposed to the entirety of the internet, so we are secure. Now, in order to access your dashboard, where you can like control the configs on the web, all you have to do is open OpenClaw dashboard and then press enter. Then you just follow the steps there, and you will have access to your web UI. Now, alternatively, if you always want access to this, you will need to install Tailscale. So you can install this on the server. Now we just follow these steps here, doing Tailscale up, and then we get a link. Then you can do stuff like this in order to be able to access your UI from literally anywhere. Now, in order to be even more secure, we can install some upgrades that just automatically update with any security updates that come out. We automatically get these, so we automatically download them, yes, and then we can see if this is configured or not, and it is, so that's cool. So the server now automatically patches itself so you can sleep better at night. Now we are pretty much ready to actually use this. So you have your now you have your OpenClaw fully secured, and you are ready to start installing stuff. Now, obviously, the OpenClaw itself, if you connect it to some external services, like unsafe ones, it could, like, there's a lot of like security concerns around for OpenClaw, but from now on, you have the most secure setup on your server. That's pretty much possible, from what I've seen at least. Of course, I'm not an expert at servers, so feel free to correct me. So now, at the end of this video, I would like to show you some of the things I've saved, which are some pretty cool things I've seen about this OpenClaw. And if you're not already, please follow me on X. It would be appreciated. But there is this, for example, skills for OpenClaw. So you can take a look at this. You can install them here. You can see how many there are, like, oh my god. Feel free to take a look at those, but please just be careful not to be exposed or to be a victim of prompt injection. It is very much real. So just be careful about what skills you choose to install. Take a look at them beforehand so you know exactly what it is you want. I saw this from Foundry also. It is a super fast browser automation agent. So it basically goes into a website once, and then once it's been there, it looks what's happening with all the API calls and such, and after that, your OpenClaw will be super fast on that specific website, so that's a cool one. Then we have this super cool article that I saw. So they have built a full agent squad, and this article from Banu is super nice. It explains exactly how OpenClaw works, I would say. It presents the fundamentals, how to install, how the sessions works, the cron jobs, the heartbeat, the workspace, all cool stuff like this. But at the end here is where he introduces this way of OpenClaw to controlling a lot of agents using convex. So you can take a look at this if you want multiple agents on your OpenClaw. So with this system, you have it set up so at least in its very basic form, it is pretty safe. Now, the thing that can make this unsafe is, of course, you giving it access to your mail, all of this stuff. Like, it's still vulnerable to prompt injections. So just be careful out there. Now, now that this like base video is done, where we set up everything that is needed to go crazy, I might actually make a part 2 in the coming days, because I have been doing a lot of cool stuff with OpenClaw recently. Just let me know if you would want that. And yeah, peace out, and